What is up, traders? Stan Gluzman here with 7 Points Capital, bringing to you today's trader takeaways. So this is more of a midday recap. Had a pretty decent morning, and I wanted to just go over a couple of things that are on my mind. Kind of mention a few ideas. I want to mention one technical idea and one psychological idea. So let's take a look at some of the stocks that we traded today. Um, we noticed that Mara today pre-market was rallying up and up huge, right? So they had another blockchain announcement or something like that, up huge sideways, and this is a short. It's just a matter of where do you get in short? Do you short it in the afternoon? Do you short it right now? Do you short it tomorrow? Do you short it next week, right? But if we look at a longer term, at a longer time frame, we can see some resistance. Let's see, 15-minute chart or 30-minute chart. We see that, I mean, we're trading it in above $5, right? Like 5.30, 5.20 or so. And we see that there's a level here, 5.35. We topped out one time, two, three times, and then we tested it as support here a couple times, and then now we're at the level one more time here. So that's the answer, staring right in our faces. Got some borrow pre-market, shorted only half position. Wasn't fully convinced that this is a short because it could blow through really easily. My stop was about 545 and my entry was 528. So we started drifting down. I think I shorted like actually right here on one of these candles. So it started working right away, and then I added once we broke VWAP to full size, but in reality, you're never too big in stocks like this. So in hindsight, definitely should have went much bigger, and we just went downhill from there. I covered a little bit early. I covered right here on this candle when we tested 50 and then bounced. I covered like 50, 53s, 52s, 51s. So on this green candle, that might have been just me covering there, to be honest with you, because the idea that I want to mention today is patience, and just like in the book Reminiscence of Stock Operator, Jesse Livermore said that, or the author said that it's not my thinking that made the money, it's my sitting, right? So here I covered a little bit early, even though the trade was working nicely and my risk reward paid off a couple times over. Um, I could have shorted, added here. I could have added into the stuff here, and I should have been in the trade still. Maybe covered half into this base and reshorting into the pop, but should definitely still be in the trade. But due to my lack of patience, I'm not. The next stock is, let's see, DPW was the next one that we traded. This one kind of started rolling over. It had 2 days where it went up one day and then went sideways another day. Today we gapped down a little bit, had some pre-market um, in the green pre-market, and then we dumped and we went sideways. Classic VWAP projection setup. Got short in here and then covered it all in a dump because we saw some bids there at 54s, 55s. They started flashing bids. Actually got long here and sold a little bit too early. Again, I sold it into resistance. I don't really like being long this stock, to be honest with you. I'm short biased, so if I'm buying the stock, it's just a scalp. So I sold into resistance here because that was the previous base and also the VWAP, so that's pretty powerful. And then I actually rebought it here, but I took a small loss. Overall, pretty good trade. I mean, I'm not complaining about this one. The next one was, let's see, next one was XNET. Okay, this is where patience comes in. Okay, we started dumping pre-market, and then I started getting in here pre-market right after Mara. Mara was my first trade, and then I started getting in, I believe, actually right here on the test of $20, on the test of this resistance. Got in here, and I just scalped it. I got out um, on average, I think $19 or so. So I started kind of scaling out and paying myself because I thought, I mean, how far can we go? I mean, it dropped so much already pre-market that we're probably gonna bounce, once we open. But that was just me being very impatient, and I'm not sure why I was trading like this today. I mean, I guess I had lack of sleep and I was a little hungry, and it's Friday. Probably wanted to go outside and play, so to speak, and relax. But definitely perfect entry, small, tight stop, and the risk reward paid off. But should have held the stock into the dump, at least covered into the dump, and then reshort in here. Should have made 10 times the money, right? So patience is what pays off in this market right now. The next stock, KODK. Uh, this is a big one. Okay, this is where patience comes in as well. Yesterday we had incredible setups. I mean, look at this triangle here. We Let's look at 5-minute charts. Go back a little bit more. We had support right here from the day before. We gap through support and we just consolidate. We open up and we consolidate pretty much all day until what, 11:10 or so, and I was hammering it on the short side and covering into the wash. And same thing um, right here. Actually, right here, re-entered, got stopped out for a small loss, but this was a stuff, right? So this went up on big volume, stopped everybody out, and dropped. So the stuff is something that um, they look for liquidity. The market participants, whoever's pushing up the stocks, they want to fill, they push it up to run some stops, to get the longs involved, and then they pull the rug, and everybody who bought here is now underwater. See if look at the volume bar. Volume was above average here, so some people got trapped there on the long side, and they brought it back, and now they're thinking, how do I get out, right? So that's selling pressure right there. So re-enter here on the retest of this base, and we get a really nice flush. So this was probably the biggest trade for me this month. Um, Quick scalp, but on pretty massive size. Pretty happy with it. So today, right here, we get a nice push into the $9. We top out right here, lower high, and then we get another stuff, right? So we run some stops. Uh, Everybody who was short got stopped out, who had tight stops, and then people got long. We can look at the volume bars right here. So pretty big volume, same thing as yesterday. Stopped everybody out, trapped some people. It didn't hold. It tried to bounce. It didn't hold. If it held, it would have been a different story. If it started putting on higher lows here, higher highs, we would have joined it on the long side. But we got right back into this triangle, and now we're putting on lower highs and lower highs, and that's where I entered. I shorted 905, 907, 905. So in this range, I was just trying to get as much as I could, and again, impatient today. My takeaway is got to be more patient, because I was right on the idea, but I took it off when we bounced off of VWAP right here, bounced again, and I got out 890. When I was getting out, I knew this is not the right thing to do, because this could really crack, which it did. It dropped another 40-50 cents. Could have covered into the wash and re-entered at the test of VWAP, but recovery here, still a decent trade, still a profitable trade, but in my book I underperformed, and that's not okay. So I'm definitely going to be working on my patience, make sure I have enough sleep, make sure I'm not hungry, and all that good stuff. So unfortunately didn't stick to my plan and covered a little too early, but the idea of stuffing here works pretty much all the time. where they run some stops, they bring it right back, and they pull the rug. So this is one of my A plus setups, and it paid off today. Another example of stuffing is in the stock SGRP. We didn't have borrow for this, unfortunately, but this is a really good example where the stock ran up a lot, right? This is a daily chart. We went from what, $1.30 to like 370, and then we started kind of uptrending, but we started stuffing, right? So we have a high here, a wick. We have another one here on big volume, and then we kind of start going sideways, and they pull the rug. So the ideal entry would be into this resistance, into this stuff. Once they brought it back, it cracks VWAP, another stuff. Notice the volume. It cracks, goes sideways, no more stuffing. People are not falling for this anymore, and then it just cracks one more time. And from here, it's probably just gonna fade all day, but who knows? But this is a really, really easy trade. Just got to recognize the stuffing, don't rush, short into the stuff, especially into this one. This short into the VWAP, this is huge, right? So we got a lot of volume traded here. Um, a lot of people are trapped. Actually, this also looks like Head and Shoulders here, if you notice. But yeah, this is a really nice one. Didn't trade it because we didn't have borrow, but what a clean chart. And those are my takeaways. So watch out for these stuffs. Be patient with them. Recognize and don't panic, which I was able to do very well today. But I didn't stick to my rules. I wasn't patient enough. And even though I'm green on the day, I had a pretty decent day. I would say probably average, maybe a little even above average day. But given the opportunity, huge underperformance, and that's not okay. And I'm going to think about this throughout the weekend and kind of go through charts and see what I could have done better. Um, but anyway, these are my takeaways for today. We have Mike Katz on Chat with Traders today, so pretty exciting stuff. I can't wait to listen to it. Mike Katz is a really good trader, and he definitely deserves to be on that show, on that podcast. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.